Stugo is a 2025 animated show that follows six bright students who end up on a remote island hoping to enjoy their summer camp experience, only to find out it's been a ploy for them to work for an evil scientist this whole time. Though I'd like to make a longer video on Stugo in its 20-episode run, I specifically wanted to touch on the Stugo shorts that were released alongside the show itself. Each short follows one of the six students: Pliny, Chip, Larry, Francis, Marion, and Sarah. These shorts are perfected snippets of the characters that truly embody their personalities and the things they must both work and rely on as the show itself plays out. Though I believe the average viewer for these shorts has already seen the show, this is still a great example of character study and embodying what it means for their assigned role in the group. Since they are shorts, the animators and storyboard artists only have a fraction of time to do so, the shortest being 29 seconds and the longest being 41. Each short is recorded as a video message for someone back home and gives a brief look at their summer excursions. The first short, titled Pliny's Playful Mutants, follows the beloved spokesperson of the group, Pliny. The video opens with a mutant playing with filters before quickly cutting to Pliny, who's hard at work, wiping her brow with the baby animal, who is a key character of a later episode of the series.
It's a really nice egg, Larry, but you've been watching it for a week. Maybe you should take a break?
Like a shower break.
No, look, it's finally hatching.
Aww. Okay, that is pretty cute.
She talks about how great camp is and how much she's experiencing, and Pliny is known for her resourcefulness and her intellect, explaining how she's categorized and documented most of the inhabitants of the island. A large snake is seen in the background, only to interject standing to explain to Pliny that they like the term mutants to describe them. Pliny acknowledges this request before tagging the snake in a game of tag. Our mutant friend decides to eat her, tangling her up and causing her a lot of distress, while she tells the audience about how playful the encounter is. The mutant from the beginning, with the filters, quickly shows up to turn the cameras off, and the short ends. I love this short. I love all of the shorts, but this is such a strong start for them. Even better is the small jar in the bottom left that's holding the evil scientist who brought them here from the beginning, Dr. Tallulah. Since this is a short, we aren't given a lot of backstory, but we know Pliny is definitely involved by the smugness of Dr. Tallulah as she watches Pliny get attacked, and it gets me every time. But as we look across the room, it reinforces who Pliny is. There are boxes strewn across the place promptly labeled, non-mutant animals in jars to be observed, her camera to chronicle more findings, and her little knickknacks. We even see a plant in the bottom left near Dr. Tallulah that is a key part of a Francis episode later on.
Oh boy. Here we go. What do you need?
They're trying to kill me!
What? I don't see anyone.
I'll explain later. Just get me out of here.
This is crazy.
Pliny's attitude never changes either, staying at the same level of excitement as when the video started, playing on her naivety a bit as the mutant tries to devour her. Something that she does end up struggling with throughout the series. Our second short, titled Chip's Portal Problem, follows the self-proclaimed leader and oldest of the tweens, Chip Manhands. The video opens with Chip briefly in a time portal with a walrus in the back, terrified, before cutting to the boat where the children live, being ransacked by a windstorm. Chip is holding the camera as the wind flies through, recording a message for his father. Chip introduces himself to his father, which may seem strange until you realize Chip isn't actually his name. Chip Manhands, formerly Drew Nipper Hedgemaze.
You really think a team of nerds can make it across a hostile landscape? We need a warrior if we want any hope of surviving this journey. As the tallest and oldest of the group, I submit myself for this glorious burden.
Okay.
But I will have to renounce my nerd name in order to do so. Once a creature of the mind, I become a being of the body. Drew Nipper Hedgemaze is no more.
Drew Nipper Hedgemaze?
Call me Chip Manhands.
Okay, nice to meet you, Chip.
The walrus from before lands in the window, getting a vote of shock from Chip before his video continues. He goes on to boast about becoming the protector of the other children before promptly getting hit with a book. It doesn't seem to faze him as he continues that he's the muscle for when experiments go wrong, adding that this is the current case. We finally get the big picture as Chip zooms out, showing his foot in a black hole as he asks his dad how they got his foot out of the toilet in a past incident, specifically the 12th time, not on Thanksgiving. The walrus jumps or is sucked into the hole, pulling Chip with him and showing the audience where we got the opening shot. Chip's short, though the shortest of the bunch, brings the elements of Chip to life so quickly. Throughout the show, Chip deals with the most body horror. He's constantly put in situations that should honestly kill the average person, but he comes out okay. This in juxtaposition with the fact that he wants to be the tough guy. He wants to protect his friends and is willing to put his body on the line to do so. This is both his greatest strength and weakness as he deals with his masculinity and what it means to be strong over the season. In the background, we see a computer with an all caps "click here," referencing a later ep where Chip falls victim to an email scam.
Ooh, exciting opportunity. Tell me more. You have been selected to receive a free gift card. Click here to claim your prize.
You shouldn't click that link.
That's a really suspicious email.
Y'all are just jealous that I got selected and you didn't.
Wait! At least hover over the link to see if the URL looks legit.
I don't want to hover. I want a gift card.
Adding to his naivety like Pliny, but in a different way. He's gullible, but he's all heart.
I believe.
Stugo! I'm Flyby. Larby as well is here.
Francis.
The third short, titled Hi Grandma, It's Not Francis, follows our lovable deadpan strategist, Francis. The video starts with Francis on the beach, hitting record before stepping back to start our video. In the background, we can see a large dinosaur mutant fighting someone in a helicopter trying to subdue it before destroying it and narrowly missing an encounter with a giant crab mutant. Francis begins the video with the title of the short, trying to play a trick on her grandma. She quickly gives up the ruse as we see a manatee on a jet ski dash by. A sea monster then briefly appears in the water. The manatee jets by closer as the crab mutant's fists rain down, causing a little bit of a wave. Francis is unbothered by all of this as she tells her grandma that camp is fun, but cuts to the chase to tell her to stay out of her butter tarts. But don't worry, she's kidding again. The crab manages to get on the jet ski with the manatee as they enter the frame yelling one last time before Francis puts her foot down, simply saying, "Excuse me." The shell that has been in the frame the whole time reveals a hermit crab mutant that backs away, as well as the mutant and the manatee in the water, to Francis's annoyance. She quickly apologizes to her grandma for losing her temper and wraps the video up by telling her not to have too much fun without her, as the jet ski comes barreling back through with a wave that hits Francis and her camera setup. I'll get this out of the way now by saying Francis is my favorite Stugo kid, and it doesn't hurt that her voice actress is Gabori Sidibe. Most of the background stuff we see in the other shorts is more at the forefront, and it pairs perfectly with Francis's character. She's known to be the most deadpan of the group, who goes with the flow and is moved by others' actions moving her, with all the moving elements that the other children would surely interact with being nothing more than background for her video. Like the other shorts, the dinosaur, crab, shell, and manatee are all from featured episodes of the show. But to talk more, we see Francis's nature. She's misunderstood, often even by her own friends, for her lack of talking. She even has a huge sense of humor despite her appearance. This is touched on in an episode between Marion and herself later on.
No, I'm not gonna lose another friend. I'm sorry if I did anything that upset you at the Party Barch Hula Hoop Hour. I'm sorry for humming. And I was wondering if you hate me.
What? No, I love you.
Wow! I have been freaking out a little bit. I really couldn't tell if you were mad at me.
Yeah, I get that a lot. People decide how they think I feel. No one ever really just asks. Sometimes I just like a little Francis alone time. Sorry I worried you.
The other kids and even mutants at times project emotions onto Francis, believing they know how she feels without her saying it. But in turn, when she does say it, we get a glimpse of something else. A funny moment of Francis saying she's sorry to lose her temper seems just that, a funny moment of someone clearly not losing their temper. But when watching Stugo, we get an episode that talks about her anger and need of control. Subtle things that become better after fully watching the show through. The fourth short, titled Don't Worry, Be Larry, follows the carefree daredevil and the youngest of the bunch, Larry. It starts with Larry being attacked by chickens in the barn before they disappear to let him film. He begins by saying hi as his incredibly long arm snakes its way into the frame from a higher vantage point, a nod to the first episode of the series.
I know. I'll throw Larry's hand at the island. Perfect spiral. So nice. And he'll grab some crystals and then I'll pull them back.
No, he'll get burned.
It's okay. This hand's already busted.
He tells his presumed family that he's even practicing cello 6 times a day. He shares an earworm, named because it's a worm, in his ear, and pets it with his stretched out hand. He tries to reassure his family one last time by stating he's even drinking milk, but it looks radioactive. He drinks it anyway. He ends by saying his normal arm still mostly listens to what he says before his stretched one pulls him backwards to the floor as the chickens head back for a bite of his earworm, and we see a mutant milking a giant worm in the background before the short ends. Larry's on the front end seems extremely simple, a kid getting into shenanigans, but his backstory really helps shows what's lying under his character. As Stugo progresses, the audience becomes more aware of the strict home life that Larry has, as well as his distaste for his cello teacher, who the video could also be sent to. He follows a regimen of practicing cello and studying only at home. And his hand being wonky doesn't really help, that as well as the fact that he truly hasn't been working on the cello, but it's not what he wants to do. This goes hand in hand with his character design of being shirtless. In the pilot, as they arrive to the island and begin adopting new personas, Larry loses his shirt, embracing his wild side. He has the dilemma of being more proper versus free, and his inability to find a middle ground has gotten him in trouble through a plethora of episodes. But his strength and resolve to be who he truly wants has saved him. The fifth short, titled The Snitch Report with Marion, follows our anxiety-ridden overachiever Marion. It starts with an animal attempting to eat the camera before switching to Marion, who begins to give her report. She approaches the video as a journalist, detailing that she is a high-ranking member of the junior safety inspectors and the youngest to earn her snitching badge. She tries to tell the audience about her time on the island, but it is quick to see her video has been co-opted by Dr. Tallulah, as any negative word she has to say is quickly cut out and overdubbed with a positive one. Her first example is an invention called the Murderizer. She infers that it can be only used for one thing before the automated voice cuts in with pony rides. Next is the Death Fist, which Marion has seen in action, which is used to kiss puppies. And lastly, she points out Mr. OK, the Scottish Terrier assistant to Dr. Tallulah, and the live overdubbing machine, which has been in use this entire time. Realizing he's caught, Mr. OK lunges for Marion and the camera, and we see the animal mouth from the beginning is Mr. OK's. Marion is such a fun character, and people often hate on the high-strung snitch, which rightfully so at times, but if I had the life Marion did, I might be the way she is too. Her video is in fact as simple as it seems, with a young girl obsessed with doing the right thing and looking towards authority for her solutions.
I'm on your side. Have you or a loved one been the victim of an unwanted human leg graft? Has your houseboat been stolen by a 40-foot crab? Are you being actively digested by fauna? Uh-oh. I'm Marion the Maritime Hammer, and I'll fight for you! Free consultations at my office, located at Boat.
It has gotten her in hard situations plenty of times. In a later episode, she confides that she had lost a close friend and believed it was due to who she is as a person. Being such a stickler at times does clash with the other children as they want to have fun and explore boundaries without constant surveillance. Marion, however, does have something more than the other children, and that's the level of care. She cares deeply for the other children, and as you learn about her background with her older sister being a talking dolphin, you can see how the neglect she's faced as a child in favor of her sister and her accomplishments caused her to both become an overachiever and someone who's desperately looking to be noticed, whether that is positive or negative, and a person with so much care and perception as she knows what it feels like to be overlooked. The last and longest short, titled Sarah's Sick Rover Stunt, follows our brute softy scammer, Sarah. We start with Sarah driving around on the moon before quickly crashing and a mini explosion. It picks back up with a scratched up Sarah smiling at the camera. Her video is to her Uncle Craig. She gets the fake niceties out of the way before asking how he's doing financially. We get a bit of lore as she explains that she's lied in the past for ransom money to get moon mummies to uncurse her, but this time is truthful because she's actually stuck on the moon. She gives a larger shot of the moon, the earth, and her broken rover as proof. She redirects the video back to her uncle, asking him to privately fund a rescue mission to get her back to summer camp. She promises this isn't a scam before adding that there are mummies up there with her and she'll need some money placed in the usual ransom account before the video ends. Sarah's video is just so fun. Her being on the moon is a whole episode in itself and a really good one, but I do like the simplicity of this short. Out of all of the shorts that had to be simple, this one is the most true to the plot, as the Sarah storyline in the show is the most complicated and with the most moving pieces towards the later half of the season.
Looking, and they're gonna find out that we're secret twins!
They can't find us. We're not ready. I am tired of lying to our friends. Can't we just come clean? Not yet. Think of everything we've gone through. Weeks of split dinners and note-taking to make sure we both have the same exact information. You only get one shocking, dramatic twin reveal. We still haven't synchronized the choreography. The rap lyrics are temp, and
But this gives the audience a great look at who she is. Sarah is adventurous and puts on a tough face in front of the others like Chip, except she can back it up. But the dialogue is where we get most of our characterization. Sarah's known to be persuasive and a bit manipulative, outright telling us she has tried to get money from her uncle multiple times, pointing to an account specifically used for it. Sarah throughout the show is a huge liar, but is a part of her facade to be the brute. To be someone that the other kids look to when they need to scheme and when they want to be impressed. This comes out even in her conversation with her uncle. She wants to seem cool and ineffective while actually being kind of scared stuck up there. But the most important thing is she asks for a way back to camp, not home. She's enjoying her experience and she sees more opportunities with her friends and the island and wants to continue down that path. These shorts will never fully encapsulate how good the show truly is and how unfortunate that we're only getting this one, as the show was canceled shortly after being added to streaming, but it's a glimpse at who they are and who they're going to be. It touches on their focal points and the things that jump out to an audience member to make them distinct, as there are 6 of them. The show, like the shorts, gives individuals and even duo episodes to characters to help flesh them out and not punish, but challenge them to reflect on who they currently are and if it aligns with who they want to be. Though this might be hyperbolic as they are middle schoolers, but a middle schooler is still a person with habits, secrets, hopes, and dreams. This has been your student government.
Francis, Drew Nipper, Sarah 3, Lardy, Marielle, and Porpo.
Pretty close.